When we tell people we don't have a ratified Equal Rights Amendment and they're under 35, they look at me like I'm some batty old lady. That's what I'm talking about. Well, of course, no, women, I think, well, no, honey, they don't, you know. So it's a real knowledge deficit. And the first thing that you need to know, and I deputize everyone in this room, is that, you know, we can argue about whether or not we need an Equal Rights Amendment, but I deputize you, everyone in this room, to go back and tell your kids, your grandkids, your neighbors, and everybody else that we do not have a constitutionally ratified Equal Rights Amendment. And that is an important thing to know because 72% of Americans think it ratified already, and 97% think that it should be ratified. So what we're dealing with is this is a knowledge deficit problem. This is an awareness issue. I don't like to spend a lot of time going back in history because I don't want to pull into the meme that this is an old issue and why are we still talking about it. Because it's more relevant today than it's ever been, but you do have to take an historical look at, you know, as why we're where we are today in order to understand what's going on. The interesting thing is Alice Paul wrote the Equal Rights Amendment and she wrote the 19th Amendment. Okay? And if you open to the 19th Amendment, anybody who doesn't have a constitution, you will see that it says the right to vote shall not be denied by the United States or any of its states on account of sex. That's the 19th Amendment. The Equal Rights Amendment that Alice Paul also wrote, which, by the way, she thought was going to be the 20th Amendment. She said, let's get the right to vote taken care of. That's a part one, because that's like the most urgent thing. Let's get women, you know, franchised as voting citizens of the United States, and then we'll get everything else that comes with equality. But let's get that out of the way because the right to vote is, you know, that's like the first step. That's like anything else. If you're ever dealing with something, you're like, okay, we're going to do this first, and then we're going to fix the rest of it. So that was her goal. Now, the Equal Rights Amendment, now the right to vote is, the right to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or any other state on account of sex. The Equal Rights Amendment is, equality of rights shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or any other state on account of sex. It's the exact same wording, it's a switch out of 4 words. Because what prohibition proves to us is there is only one way to correct the Constitution if you feel it needs correction. You know, we had prohibition, and booze has 2 amendments in the Constitution. 2. One to put prohibition in, and they couldn't just roll back that amendment. How did they fix that amendment? With another amendment. So the only way to fix the lapses of the 14th Amendment in writing male citizen and male inhabitant, the only way to take the 14th Amendment and put women completely in is by another amendment, the same way we corrected prohibition. When I talk to people who are completely opposed to women being equal in this country, they always go off into the idea that women have not paid the same price for America and that we should just defer to the superiority of men because the only reason you're not speaking German is because of men who died in the wars. That's the kind of stuff I get told. Right? Right? Oh yeah. Like, you know, you want to be equal to men, well then, you know, like, women have done, and have, you know, women were in those Conestogas going across, you know, spitting out babies somewhere in the middle of nowhere, you know, going across the Great Plains. Women have been right there through all of it. But the narrative is that we are somehow free ride, you know, observers of the building and the creation of the United States of America. And that, again, there's that kind of perpetual guardianship that the men, everything we have, the men have given to us. And that's part of that mindset that exists today in terms of why don't we just be glad that the men are taking on all these things and we don't have to worry about it because, you know, the boys will take care of it and you girls just go play. Go get your nails done. I actually had a woman call me up, a college student at VCU. She thought I could help her. And she said, you can't believe this. I'm a part-time student. I'm a student and I work part-time in a grocery store and I really like my job and I've got a lot of retail experience and blah, blah, blah. My boyfriend was looking for a job and I told my boyfriend, we'll go, you know, it's a good job. They're pretty good about working around my school hours and blah, you should go and try to get a job. Well, he goes and he gets a job based on her reference and she's the one with the experience. He comes home, he's all happy. I got this job. Oh, wow, great, great, great. Yeah, at $7.50 an hour is going to be great. $7.50 an hour? Well, they're paying her $7 an hour. So she's hot on a hornet. She calls me up and she goes, what can I do about this? I said, my dear, you can't do anything about it, and I'll tell you why. Number one, if you go to HR and complain, they're going to summarily fire you and your boyfriend because it's against company policy to discuss salary. So you're both out of a job. Number two, there's no lawyer's going to take your case because for 50 cents an hour, Where's the money? It's not worth it. Number 3, how are you going to prove it? Okay, you can get a pay stub. Okay, maybe you can prove that there is a pay disparity, but 9 years from now, once you start and lodge your complaint, trust me, they're going to come up with a reason to fire you anyway, probably because you discussed salary. So what has happened is that women are slaying dragons one at a time. Every woman who's ever worked outside the home has dealt with this issue, and they slay their own dragons as they go along. They have no protection under law. They have no protection under law. Law is very loosely protected, and if they do pursue it legally, and they find a lawyer that's willing to help them out, at the end of the day, all they get back is the money they should have gotten up front. Where are we now? Where we are now is that Candy and I started a group called women-matter.org, and we're based out of the state of Virginia. Why are we in the state of Virginia? Because we ratified in 35 states, and we needed 38 states, and the ratification deadline lapsed first in 1979. They gave us a 3-year extension to 1982. And we ran out of time 3 states short, Virginia being one of those states. Now, we are here trying to get Virginia to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment so we can then go to Congress and say, we're looking at Virginia, we're looking at Illinois, and we're looking at Nevada. And we're going, okay, we have the 3 states. Lift that ratification deadline, and let's finish this.